The icy school beauty had severe autism. She had never spoken a single word her entire life, until I became her deskmate. At first, I thought she was mute, so I kept talking to her like no one else was around. Even though I got the cold shoulder every time, I did not mind. But when I stopped paying attention to her, the school beauty actually spoke. "I am right beside you. Why did you go ask someone else?" The next day, her wealthy father came to my house. He brought me loads of gifts and food. With tears in his eyes, he grabbed my hand. My daughter finally spoke. "Young man, from now on, she is in your hands." That completely threw me. Who knew being a chatterbox could cure muteness? "Shen Haochen, can you please be quiet for once?" I made a zipping my lips gesture. The teacher looked at me speechlessly. "I have changed your deskmate 99 times. You chat up every single one of them? Then I made you sit by yourself, and you still managed to chat with a cat. Want me to give you an award?" The entire class turned to look at me. Beside me, a little cat was dozing with the look of one who had given up on life. Everyone gave the cat sympathetic looks. "Fine, you win. Starting next class, you will sit beside Yingxue." Class dismissed. With that, the teacher tapped the desk and left. The class gave me those sympathetic looks again, because Yingxue was the legendary girl no one dared provoke, though she was supposedly mute. On her first day here, she caused a huge uproar at school. A few punks tried to bully her. She sent one flying 10 meters with a single kick. Those guys were expelled afterward. Yet Yingxue remained perfectly unharmed in class. Even scarier, she was also the top student in the grade. It showed just how brilliant she was. She had immense strength and a humble nature. The teacher had really come down hard on me this time. I may talk too much, but I was scared too. Yingxue showed no reaction. She simply sat there quietly as usual. Trembling, I slowly moved my things over. Then I discovered the next class was math. Math. My lifelong nemesis. I either had to talk or die. Sitting beside Yingxue, I forced my eyelids open. "Do not fall asleep. Do not fall asleep." In the end, I forced out a sentence. "Sue, I have a problem. If I do not talk, I will die. When I talk, just pretend you cannot hear me, okay?" Yingxue looked at me like I was an idiot. Then she silently turned away. I took that as agreement and started rambling. "Sue, did you know that one classmate and that other one seemed to be dating? And yesterday's lunch?" Yingxue quietly put on her headphones. I pretended not to notice and kept talking. By the end of class, my voice was hoarse. I glanced beside me. Yingxue's normally icy face seemed to hold a trace of warmth. I leaned closer. "What good song are you listening to? Let me hear it." By accident, I glanced over. Her phone screen was completely blank, meaning Yingxue was not playing anything through her headphones. I instinctively looked at her. Yingxue's face was slightly flushed. A faint warmth touched her expression. Maybe it was just my imagination. Over the next month, that became our routine. I would chatter beside her nonstop, and she would quietly listen. But a surprise test soon disrupted our routine. If I came in last again, my mom would scold me to death. So, for the first time ever, I did not speak to Yingxue in class. She had always treated me like air anyway. It should be fine. The first day, the second, then the third. I chewed my pen and worked hard at taking notes. Then came the dreaded math class. I could not understand a thing. I was doomed. I lowered my head in despair. Then a notebook packed with notes was pushed toward me. I looked at Yingxue in surprise. She looked slightly uncomfortable. I remembered that she never took notes. Where had these come from? An unrealistic thought surfaced in my mind. Could Yingxue have compiled these especially for me? I quickly dismissed the thought. How could she possibly do it for me? Write out so many extra notes for me. She must have gotten them from someone else. So I hurriedly thanked Yingxue. "Yingxue, you are my savior." But I said that last part a little too loudly. The whole class instantly focused on us. Yingxue buried her face in her arms. The tips of her ears turned red. I hurriedly waved my hands. Nothing. I was worshipping my savior. My classmates were already used to my antics. They teased me a few times, then went back to normal. I carefully considered my chances of passing math. Notes from the top student, plus practice problems. Maybe I could scrape together a passing grade. But I needed someone to explain the problems. My test paper was covered in red marks. I silently looked at Yingxue, who still had her head down. What a shame. Yingxue was perfect in every way, except she could not speak. I could not trouble her by making her write out all those complicated steps. So I picked up my test paper and walked to the class president. I gave her a sheepish smile. "Madam Class President, could you explain a problem to me?" The class president nodded. She politely invited me to sit. She took my test paper and was about to begin. I had just leaned closer when the paper was yanked away with tremendous force. The two of us looked up. Yingxue, who had just been sitting at her desk, had somehow appeared before us. There was a hint of anger on her face. "I am right beside you. Why did you go ask someone else?" The class president and I were instantly stunned. Not just us. The entire class erupted. She can actually speak. Su Yingxue's words hit the silent classroom like a thunderclap. After a moment of silence, everyone's eyes turned to me. Do not look at me. I do not know why Su Yingxue suddenly started talking either. The class president quickly caught on. Pointing at me, she shouted in astonishment, "Shen, your non-stop chatter can actually cure people." Voices broke out across the classroom. Oh my god, being a chatterbox can cure muteness? What exactly did Shen Haochen talk to Su Yingxue about? He talked so much that she was forced to speak. Su Yingxue impatiently beckoned to me. Come here, I will explain it to you. With a terrified look, I was dragged back to my seat. I began listening in a daze. Wait, Su Yingxue, you still have not explained why you can speak. Could my gift for gab really be that powerful? Powerful enough to restore a mute person's voice. My thoughts ran wild, until a sharp knock on my head brought me back. Su Yingxue did not look pleased. Focus. Did that class president steal your soul? I looked at her in disbelief. What kind of question was that? You were the one who scared the soul out of me. A few days later, Su Yingxue began speaking normally, though she still did not say much. Most of the time, she rested her chin on her hand and silently watched me chatter on. Life went on as usual, but this time, things were different. Just when I was smugly thinking, Mom could no longer threaten me, a bolt from the blue struck our home. That day, Mom was cooking in the kitchen, while I was gaming in the living room. The clear chime of the doorbell shattered the silence. Mom and I nervously opened the door, only to find a dashing older gentleman outside. A row of bodyguards in black stood behind him. Mom and I immediately wanted to shut the door and call the police, but a powerful force pushed it open. The dashing older man carried a huge bag of gifts. He was beside himself with excitement. Smiling, he squeezed inside. You must be Shen Haochen. I am Su Yingxue's father. I came especially to thank you. Mom's expression changed at once. She put on a bright smile. Oh, you are a fellow student's parent. Honestly, this child, he did not even tell me. Father Su sat himself down on the sofa. Oh my, our Yingxue has had autism for years. We saw countless renowned doctors, but none could cure her. Thanks to your son, please have him talk to Su Yingxue more often. She is my only daughter. I'm counting on her to support me someday. So Su Yingxue was not mute. She had severe autism. Mom shot me a look. It said, we will talk about this later. Then she went to wash some fruit. After talking for a while, I finally understood what was really wrong with Su Yingxue. She had stopped speaking in middle school. Her father had taken her for examinations. The doctors said she suffered from depression, along with some autistic tendencies. But autistic tendencies and autism were not the same thing. Were they? Clearly, her father had completely ignored his daughter's depression. All he cared about was whether she could speak. Father Su beamed with joy. My daughter is back to normal. The Su family line will live on. I had even been thinking. As he spoke, I stared hard at Su Yingxue's father, certain he was about to say something like, have another child. Realizing he had misspoken, he hurriedly slapped his own face. Oh. Listen to me. All right, I will not disturb you any longer. I should get going. Mom hurried after him. Stay for dinner before you go. We have hardly hosted you properly. Their hollow polite chatter gradually faded away. All I could think about was this. Su Yingxue was not actually mute. She was depressed. But how depressed did someone have to be to lose all desire to communicate with anyone? What had Su Yingxue been through? After more than a decade of being carefree, for the first time, I felt lost and sad. Mom escorted Su Yingxue's father downstairs, then hurried back upstairs to find me. Her expression was grave. Haochen, tell me the truth. This Su Yingxue in your class, who exactly is she? I opened the huge bag Father Su had brought. It was stuffed full of gifts. Another box contained ginseng and abalone. We heard the engine of his departing car. We walked over to the window. It was a Rolls-Royce. The Baidu encyclopedia page was still open on Mom's phone. It showed a photo of Su Yingxue's father. He wore a tailored suit, his arms folded confidently. He looked every inch the successful businessman. His name was Su Zemin. He was the chairman of the Su Group. The Su Group was the leading company in our province. His wife, Su Yingxue's mother, had died in a car accident years ago. Mom looked somewhat sympathetic. Talk to that classmate more often. Who knows what she has been through? But do not get too involved. We are not part of their world. We should return these gifts. I nodded, only half understanding. Then Mom and I packed up the things on the table. The next day, I walked into the classroom as usual. Su Yingxue was already sitting at her desk. When I got closer, I saw that she was marking my test paper. A piping hot breakfast sat on the desk too. I forced down the warm buns, my heart aching bitterly. After I finished eating, I cautiously looked towards Su Yingxue. In the morning light, her features were soft as water. My gaze made a blush rise to her cheeks. Why are you not saying anything? I lowered my head, looking a little sorrowful. Something happened at home. It was a lie I made up on the spot. Yet concern appeared on Su Yingxue's face. Still, she was not good with words. After a few seconds of silence, she handed me the other earbud she was using. I froze for a moment, then took it and put it in my ear. A melodious piano piece began to play, accompanied by an ethereal vocal melody. I sat there blankly, listening to music with Su Yingxue in the empty classroom. When I look back on high school years later, that was probably the most beautiful scene of my high school years. I reached out and gently held Su Yingxue's forearm, meeting her slightly surprised gaze. I spoke so softly that I was nearly inaudible. Su Yingxue, talk to me more from now on. Su Yingxue's eyes curved into crescents. I could only stare at her. Shen Haochen, I hope you will only talk to me, just me. There was a hint of seriousness in her smiling eyes. After a moment, she turned away and chuckled. I am teasing you. I let out a breath of relief. The day before, I had decided to do everything I could to help Su Yingxue overcome her depression and recover as soon as possible, but I could not let her become dependent on me. So I kept asking Su Yingxue to explain problems to me. She always agreed without complaint. Gradually, my grades improved. A lot of people even came to ask me for help with problems. They did not dare disturb Su Yingxue. So, whenever class ended, a crowd gathered around my desk. They kept Su Yingxue and me apart. 1 week later, an irritated Su Yingxue drove those people away. Then she sent me a number. This is my cousin. She needs your help more than they do. Su Yingxue said her cousin would soon take her high school entrance exams. Without tutoring, she would not get into high school. I did not think much of it, so I took the initiative to explain the situation to my classmates, then focused on tutoring her cousin. Only then was Su Yingxue satisfied. She no longer looked so miserable every day, and her smile returned. Besides that, I went out of my way to make Su Yingxue laugh. I tried every way I could to get her talking more. Look, there is a snail on the windowsill. It is so cute. Let us give it a name. The teacher's notes on the board are so complicated. Can you tell me what they mean? She bought me breakfast, so I had to return the favor. Worried this rich young lady would not like the food, I even ran several miles to buy it from a restaurant. This happened far too often. Even Su Yingxue noticed. She looked at me with a knowing half smile. I am not mute. I have no problem speaking. Are you pitying me? Making me practice speaking? I hurriedly shook my head. No, I know you are not. Then you must have a crush on me. My little deskmate. My half-finished words were cut off. Su Yingxue's smile was radiant. She looked to be in a very good mood. It felt as if I had been struck over the head. I snapped awake. My tongue felt tied. No, I do not. The smile faded slightly from Su Yingxue's eyes. Then why? I stammered. She seemed to remember something. Her expression froze. Zemin came to see you. Anger and resentment rose in her eyes. Then came deep disappointment and loneliness. So, you really do pity me. You bought me breakfast because you wanted us to be even. Clenching my fist, I mumbled. That is not it. It is because. A trace of mockery crossed Su Yingxue's face. Those people took the money, then bullied me even worse. Are you the same? I shook my head desperately. I tried to grab her arm, but she pulled away. My heart twisted painfully. Her gaze was grief-stricken, but when she saw the disappointment in my eyes, she panicked. She quickly grabbed my hand again. I did not mean that. I am sorry. Silence lingered between us. Then Su Yingxue said softly, so quietly I could barely hear her. It is okay if you pity me. The moment she spoke, it felt as if someone had clenched my heart. I could barely breathe. Su Yingxue ran from the classroom as though fleeing in defeat. After I got home, I did not sleep all night. I thought about it all night. What exactly did I feel for Su Yingxue? I thought social class and all that did not matter. What I felt for Su Yingxue was not pity. I liked her. I was certain of it. Whenever I remembered how pitiful she looked when she left, my heart would ache. I would tell her tomorrow. I would tell her, I really like you. It is not pity. I do not want us to keep score either. You deserve to be loved. But when I entered the classroom full of hope, Su Yingxue's seat was empty. For the next 2 days, I did not see Su Yingxue either. I was frantic with worry. Was Su Yingxue angry with me? Why had she not come to school for so many days? Not until the 4th day did Zemin finally come. This time, he showed his true colors. The cruelty and coldness in his bones were fully exposed. He folded his arms and looked at me disdainfully. I thought you might be decent. Turns out you are just some punk bent on ruining my daughter. Because I went to your home that day. Su Yingxue has stopped talking again. I grounded her. What? She is locked up at home? I looked at Su Zemin in alarm. He gave a mocking smile. Stop dreaming of turning from an ugly duckling into a swan. I have already chosen a young man from a suitable family for her. She will marry him after she graduates from college. It was like having a bucket of cold water poured over my head. My entire body went cold. I think I understood why Su Yingxue was depressed. Adult self-righteousness was something we could not fight. We could only accept it passively and suffer while fully aware. I clenched my palms tightly. My feelings are genuine. And what does that change? Su Zemin quickly cut me off. Let me tell you, Su Yingxue is going abroad. If you know what is good for you, Do not stand in the way of her bright future. If you insist on this, I do not mind using my influence to make you and your mother disappear forever. It was a terrifying thing to say, but I knew he was fully capable of doing it. I investigated you. You come from a single-parent family. Your mother is just an ordinary employee, right? With that, Zemin did not waste another second. He turned and walked away. I was left standing there, lost and helpless, experiencing love for the first time. I was shut out before I could even truly enter it. Yingxue was going abroad. I would only hold back her bright future. Even if she did not care, I still had a family to protect. I stood in the rain, feeling, for the first time, how absurd this world was. The next day, I returned to the classroom without expression. A familiar breakfast sat on my desk. Yingxue wore a face mask. There were faint bruises around her eyes. Had Zemin beaten her? My heart throbbed with pain. I had rehearsed this moment countless times at home, but now I did not know what to do. I walked straight over and threw the bag of breakfast into the trash. Yingxue's pupils widened. Her face was full of disbelief. I tried to keep my expression calm. As I returned to my seat, Yingxue's chest rose and fell several times. Then she became calm again. Calmly, she took out her book. Calmly, she opened it. Calmly, she took notes. As if sulking, she refused to look at me. For the entire morning, we did not exchange a word. Until lunch. I stood to go get my meal, but she yanked me back into my seat. You hate me now. Yingxue looked at me almost pleadingly. Unable to bear it, I avoided her gaze. I said nothing. Later, I brought my lunchbox back. I mechanically chewed my food, finishing the meal in silence. Yingxue grabbed my wrist again. The girl everyone once admired had lowered herself now, softly apologizing to me. I truly wanted to ask her, what did you do wrong? I was the one who had been wrong all along, self-righteously talking to her, self-righteously pitying her, self-righteously loving her, and now, self-righteously abandoning her. My eyes stung with tears. I closed my eyes, forcing myself to be cruel. I have already asked the teacher to change my seat. You are interfering with my studies. Yingxue went still. I did not want to hear her apologize again, so I turned and left the classroom. After changing seats, we would each have new deskmates, new colleges, new lives, never bothering each other again. After that, Yingxue never came looking for me again. I gradually grew used to life without her. Later, Yingxue made good friends. She could laugh brightly like anyone else. She started playing volleyball and entered speech competitions. She became more and more radiant. More handsome boys at school began pursuing her. She even made the school beauty rankings. While I was still hiding in my shell, a little quail who only knew how to chirp, I tried my best not to notice Yingxue. But the more I tried, the more futile it became. Before I realized it, the time Zemin said she would go abroad was approaching. Though I was consumed by worry, I showed none of it. I attended classes as usual. Then one day after school, I stayed behind for cleaning duty. The instant I finished sweeping and opened the door, I found myself staring into Yingxue's eyes. She seemed to have waited a long time, but she showed no impatience. Seeing the person I longed for day and night, I froze where I stood. Her eyes held fervent expectation. I want to tell you something. I am not interested. Go. Just go. That was what I thought. But Yingxue gently tugged at my sleeve, and I could not make myself leave. She looked a little lost. She seemed to feel this was improper, yet did not know what to do next. My heart ached for her, so I asked, what is it? Yingxue's eyes lit up at once. My illness does not turn people into fools. I will not hurt you. At that, I merely closed my eyes and gave a quiet hum. I thought Yingxue had changed, that she had gotten better, that she spoke more smoothly and naturally, and was brighter and more confident. Instead of being so timid and insecure now, if my presence only made her unhappy, then I would rather disappear. My heart twisted into a knot. Yingxue hurriedly continued, there is a reason I got this illness. It is because I was startled. What was Yingxue trying to do? The more I knew, the worse it would be for her. I quickly pretended not to hear and walked in the opposite direction. But because of that, Yingxue, who had been hesitating, thought I was running away. She grabbed me and pulled me back with even greater resolve. My mother, she died together with the woman Zemin had an affair with. I froze. I did not know how to react. That car accident years ago had a hidden truth behind it. But actually, I already knew. I had investigated that accident more than once. I had even tried to sound Zemin out. Ever since Yingxue's mother learned Zemin had cheated, she had been deeply depressed. She even suffered repeated breakdowns in front of Yingxue. The last time she was lucid, she ignored Yingxue's attempts to stop her. She drove her car straight into the two of them and died in that crash too. She must have regretted not being able to stop her mother. My heart broke for what Yingxue had endured. But what hurt me even more was that after I had hurt her, she still insisted on tearing open her own scars. So please pity me. I raised my astonished eyes and met hers, grief-stricken and resolute. Dark Intense love and hatred swirled in Su Yingxue's gaze. If you only pitied me in the beginning, could you pity me just one more time? Do not leave me. A huge piece of my heart collapsed. The person I loved was right in front of me. The reason she had exposed her scars was to restore our relationship to what it was. But my mother was still waiting for me at home. I feigned coldness. Sorry. Excuse me. Su Yingxue's eyes dimmed. I heard her say softly, sorry, I have troubled you. I did not dare look into her eyes. I fled home. Mom was cooking in the kitchen. She held a spatula. Her expression startled. Haochen. I stared blankly into the mirror. My eyes in the reflection were red and swollen. I looked utterly pathetic from crying. Unable to bear these repeated blows any longer, I burst into tears. Why is living so hard? Su Yingxue's carefulness, her timidity, and longing. How was that any different from me now? Mom wiped my tears with an amused smile. Why are you already suffering over love at such a young age? Is it because of your classmate with autism? I pursed my lips and nodded softly. I told her about Zemin threatening me and poured everything out at once. As Mom listened, her face grew stern. This is a society governed by law. How dare he threaten you like that? He is just trying to scare you. Do not be afraid. Mom is right here. Crying, I burrowed into Mom's arms. But he was right. Su Yingxue and I are not from the same world. I should not stand in the way of her going abroad. Mom gently comforted me. You both need to grow, but that does not mean you must be apart. You would both get hurt that way. You need to talk to her honestly. After hearing Mom's words, my thoughts gradually cleared. Why should two people who loved each other have to suffer the agony of missing one another? I had to let Su Yingxue know that I belonged to her too, but it was already too late. The next day, I learned that yesterday had been Su Yingxue's final day before going abroad. Before leaving, she had wanted to take one last chance. Even my pity would have been enough, but I had mercilessly rejected her. I tried to contact Su Yingxue, only to find she had deleted every trace of me. Then I remembered what she said before leaving. Sorry for troubling you. I finally understood everything. She believed she was a burden to me, so she chose to disappear from my world forever. Because of my hesitation, we missed each other again. After the college entrance exams, another piece of news struck me like lightning. Mom had collapsed at work. When I stumbled to the hospital in a daze, she lay pale-faced in the hospital bed. Just days ago, Mom had been laughing and talking with me. Now, tubes covered her body, awaiting heaven's judgment. I fell to my knees. Great tears splashed onto the floor. Why was heaven doing this to me? There was nowhere to pour out my despair. That was how I was forced to grow up overnight. I became more and more like the Su Yingxue of the past, once lively and cheerful. I no longer wanted to speak much with anyone, living in my own world. Mom insisted that I attend college, so I applied for student loans. I worked every day to cover our living expenses and Mom's medical bills, from ghostwriting to writing articles, from tutoring to substitute teaching and package pickups, from restaurants near campus to gas stations far from home. I did every kind of work. I went everywhere. During those years, I came to deeply understand human cruelty. It could come for no reason, or strike without warning, but it was always sharp and cutting. I withdrew further and further from everyone. I learned to walk with my head down, so I could avoid meeting people's eyes. Walking down the street, I wished I were invisible, as if I did not exist. Sometimes I thought, if I just died, maybe that would be better. Other dark thoughts even surfaced, but whenever those thoughts rose, I quickly pushed them away, replacing them with a smile for Mom. There was still hope in life. Fortunately, Mom's condition was slowly improving, but sadly, reality crushed my fragile nerves. I became deeply insecure and uncomfortable in my own skin. Mom saw the change in me. She would often hold me with aching tenderness. Haochen, do not let me hold you back. While you are young, go out and see the world. But I no longer had the courage to step outside. At last, I understood why Su Yingxue had been unwilling to communicate with others back then. I also understood how my youthful ignorance had hurt her so deeply. I also understood that the gap between Su Yingxue and me had only grown wider. Everything had changed beyond recognition. 2 years passed. Mom was about to leave the hospital. The Su group had also undergone earth-shaking changes. Zemin had fallen critically ill a year earlier. News of the Su family's only daughter taking over the Su group played on television on a constant loop. Full ownership of the Su group had been transferred to Su Yingxue, yet she still resolutely chose to go abroad and expanded the Su group's business overseas. Only recently did news emerge that Su Yingxue was returning. What shocked me was a post appearing in my social feed, one that should not have been there. It was a photo taken on a plane. The caption read, "Finally." My first thought was that it might be Su Yingxue, but I quickly dismissed it. When she left, she deleted every trace of me. How could I possibly still see her posts? But when I saw the familiar username, Little Bear, I quickly remembered. It belonged to Su Yingxue's cousin. Could it be that Su Yingxue had used her cousin's account to post it? Either way, She was coming back. Su Yingxue must have become even more radiant and confident. She surely still had countless admirers. Would she still remember me? But looking as worn down as I did, I could not let her see me like this. Because of everything that happened to my family, I had always made excuses to skip our class reunions. Even our class president had tactfully forgotten me. Su Yingxue and I were parallel lines that were never meant to cross. So let it be. Watching her from afar on television would be enough, but my self-deception was quickly shattered by a phone call. Haochen. There is a class reunion this weekend. Are you coming? I have plans. You all go ahead. You always have plans. Su Yingxue is coming this time too. Are you really not coming? The moment I heard her name, an unreal tremor ran through my heart. I mumbled softly, I really have plans. A faint rustling came from the other end of the line. Then came a quiet whisper. He really has plans. After a moment, the class president spoke again. Would the weekend after next work for you? When are you free? I was confused. Class president, is someone there with you? The class president answered in a panic. No, just give us a definite answer. We are all waiting on you. We can reschedule for you. I felt a little embarrassed, but did not know how to refuse. The class president began whispering again on the other end. What do we do? How can Su Yingxue might not be able to make it? Give us a date. Quickly. We are all waiting. Maybe I could not bring myself to refuse. Or maybe I was clinging to some hope, but I agreed before I knew it. The moment I did, crushing regret set in. What was I thinking? How could I face Su Yingxue? What if Su Yingxue really came? But regardless, I went. I tittied myself up a little, but the instant I pushed open the door, the brightness inside nearly blinded me. My classmates had changed so much. They wore beautiful, fashionable clothes and shoes, gathered around together. The person everyone was flattering turned to look at me. I froze where I stood. It was Su Yingxue. She had become even more beautiful. Her eyes were brighter than ever, flawless inside and out. She naturally drew everyone's attention. And then there was me. I looked awkward and lonely. No one greeted me, so I sat alone in a corner, my gloom against that bright room made for a stark contrast. I lowered my head, taking small sips from my drink. The class president warmly called out to me, Haochen, come sit with us. Then they winked at someone across the room. Only then did everyone recognize me. Haochen, it is you. We did not recognize you at first. Kind voices came from all around me. I finally relaxed a little. I was planning to wait it out, then leave quickly, when a shadow fell across the table before me. It was Su Yingxue. At some point, she had come over to me. Before long, our classmates went elsewhere to sing. Only the two of us remained in the corner. I clutched my cup tightly. I was flustered. Su Yingxue casually sat beside me, then started scrolling through her phone. I felt ridiculous for being so nervous. I hurriedly took out my phone and started scrolling aimlessly too. Though we were far from the crowd, people kept coming over to toast Su Yingxue and make conversation. She handled each of them with ease, gracefully declining some while chatting business with others. I was like a fledgling beneath a giant eagle's shadow, small and dim. 1, 2, 3, 4. I really could not take it anymore. Was Su Yingxue doing this on purpose, just to torment me? I stood, ready to leave, but someone yanked me back into my seat. Just like 2 years ago, I stared blankly at Su Yingxue. Her cheeks were slightly flushed, yet she still looked ice-cold. I need to talk to you. I quietly sat back down. I wanted to tell you that I came back to the country. At that, I instinctively looked at Su Yingxue. Her presence was faintly cold, as if she wanted to keep everyone 1,000 miles away. But her hands twisted together uneasily. She looked nervous. She was just searching for something to say. When she met my questioning gaze, Su Yingxue instinctively straightened her back. About Su Zemin threatening you back then. I only found out recently. At the mention of the past, my face turned awkward and strained. Thinking back on those painful days, I knew my cowardice had hurt her deeply. But this farce had to end someday. I felt the weight lift from my chest. I am sorry, Su Yingxue. I was immature back then. I hurt you. Please forgive me. My gaze was steady and sincere. Su Yingxue parted her lips, as though she wanted to say something. But in the end, she only softly said, it is okay. I relaxed. I tried to keep my voice even. I have something to do, so I will be going now. Su Yingxue nodded. I picked up my coat and headed for the door. As I walked, I realized something was wrong. Why had Su Yingxue come out with me? Maybe she had somewhere to be too. I was too embarrassed to ask, so I kept walking as though nothing was strange. Once we were outside, I looked down to open a ride-hailing app. Then Su Yingxue, who had just left, pulled her car up before me. Get in. I will take you home. I waved my hand. No need to trouble yourself. Get in. I need to talk to you. Again, She needed to talk to me. I had already resigned myself to never having anything to do with her again. Yet Su Yingxue kept breaking through my fragile defenses, so I reluctantly got in. Su Yingxue stared calmly ahead, but the veins stood out on the hand gripping the steering wheel. I still had 2 years before graduating, so this counts as an early return to the country. I looked at her curiously. Did you come back to officially inherit the Su group? It has been all over the news. She sighed softly. No. I had already completed the inheritance paperwork while abroad. I felt a little awkward, annoyed that my memory was so poor. Su Yingxue's grip on the steering wheel tightened again and again. There is another reason I came back. You apologized to me just now. I accepted it, but I have not properly apologized to you. I froze for a moment. What do you have to apologize to me for? Su Yingxue suddenly hit the brakes, stopping at the red light ahead. She seemed to be at the end of her patience. Haochen, my father threatened you. Were you not scared? Did you not feel wronged? My nose stung. Of course, I was scared. Of course, I was hurt. And all the conflict and heartache because of you. I swallowed it all alone. But besides my mom, who else could understand? Su Yingxue looked at me seriously. I apologize to you on Su Zemin's behalf. I am sorry for making you anxious, for making you panic. My eyes filled with tears, barely holding them back. Why did I like her? Because she was such a thoughtful girl. Whether in the past or now, she understood the pain I could not voice and accepted my conflict and embarrassment. She gently brushed my brow. I thought I came back too soon because I could not bear life without you any longer. But now I realize I came back too late. What happened these past 2 years? Why have you become so quiet? Thinking of how dim I had seemed earlier, compared with Su Yingxue's brilliance, I suddenly came to my senses. I hurriedly pulled away from her fingertips. Su Yingxue's eyes instantly turned lonely and disappointed. I lowered my head, unable to meet her eyes. Something happened to my family. My mom got seriously ill. Every day, I had to go out and earn money. As I voiced hardships I had never dared tell anyone. Yet I did not feel all that sad. Su Yingxue was stunned. Then her eyes filled with helplessness and heartache. She murmured softly, I was wrong. Even if you hated me, I should not have left. How could I leave you all alone? I really should. I cut off Su Yingxue's self-reproach. Now we are even. Neither of us needs to feel indebted or guilty anymore. Let us leave it at that. Goodbye. I opened the car door, avoiding Su Yingxue's eyes as I got out. The gap in our social standing was too wide. It was not good for either of us. I was insecure and cowardly now. I felt unbearably uncomfortable around Su Yingxue. So once again, I chose to run away. Even though I knew it was wrong, I still got out of the car on instinct. Over the next few days, I drifted through my studies in a daze, waiting until it was time to bring mom home from the hospital. When the weekend finally came, I rushed to the hospital, only to find Su Yingxue in mom's room. The nurse gave me a knowing smile. This young lady has been coming every day to care for your mom. Your girlfriend is so sweet. My face turned red. With mixed emotions, I took in the scene before me. Su Yingxue was bustling around, serving food to my mom. Now and then, she laughed and joked with her. For no reason, I felt an unexpected sense of security. Su Yingxue turned and saw me at the door. Her eyes lit up. Mom waved me over. Haochen, come in. Quickly. I hurried into the room, nodding gratefully to Su Yingxue. I clasped my mom's hand tightly. Mom, congratulations on being discharged. I made you something delicious at home. Mom smiled mischievously. Then what did you prepare for Xiaoxiu? My cheeks flushed, but I still feigned calm. I did not know she was coming. Mom took my hand. Su Yingxue tactfully stepped out of the room. Mom's eyes were smiling, but also a trace of worry. Xiaoxiu told me what she was thinking. She has been waiting for you. When you did not come, she came to you instead. My heart clenched. I lowered my head even further. Haochen, I know my illness and everything that happened before have left you far from your old self. But do you remember what I told you before? You both need to grow. Now, I have seen how Su Yingxue has grown. You should follow your own heart too, and take that step. She was right. All this time, I had kept choosing to run away. And in doing so, I hurt Su Yingxue. Yet she, who had always been quiet, had always been so sincere and passionate. She kept walking toward me without hesitation, humbling herself time after time, convincing herself each time to come closer. Was I going to keep running forever? Her shyness, her clumsiness, her tenderness, the way she was one of a kind with me, they had made my heart race tens of thousands of times. Admit it, you like Su Yingxue. There was no denying it. Looking into mom's smiling eyes, I finally found immense courage. This time, I would truly walk toward her. I let go of mom's hand and pushed open the door. The girl I had pictured in my heart countless times stood by the window, backlit by the sun. She was still the same as before, a smile softening her eyes. Though she was still a woman of few words. Even as time passed, Su Yingxue was still there, as always, quietly waiting for me. Why had I never cherished her? Why did I keep trying to push her away? Could it be that in her eyes, I was just as radiant as she was in mine? Su Yingxue's gaze burned brightly, as if she wanted to remember me exactly as I was forever. At last, I swept away the clouds in my heart and walked firmly toward her, just as she had once done for me. Su Yingxue, have you had a secret crush on me? Not just a little. I like you very much. She lifted her head and met my eyes earnestly. So, can you give me a chance? We stood facing each other in the hospital corridor, just like 2 years ago, after I had finished my class duty, when she waited for me in the hallway. Back then, her eyes were full of pleading. Now, they were brimming with joy. I gently pulled Su Yingxue into my arms. I should be the one asking that. I have liked you for a long time. Can you give me a chance to be your boyfriend? The surprise and delight in Su Yingxue's eyes were almost spilling over. Tenderly, I stroked her silky hair and held her close, completely content. Then I have to confess something. Boyfriend. I lowered my gaze to meet her smiling eyes. I do not have a younger female cousin. Little Bear was me. This time, I was the stunned one, watching her smile smugly. For a moment, I was back in that bustling summer, scented with orange soda. Su Yingxue's eyes flashed with anger. It was the first time she had spoken to me. I was right beside you. Why did you ask someone else? Just then, a breeze blew into the classroom, cooling the heat that had lingered on my face. I think that was when I fell in love with her.